Hey, what is up? This is Chris. I was going to work on a fun project and I thought it might be fun to include everyone. So I thought I would try a live stream for the first time. So once we get some people who join, I'm going to go ahead and just walk you through what I'm going to do. But looks like we've got one viewer. So welcome. Okay, pardon the screen changing. I realized that I hadn't switched over my screen properly. So as we get people, you're welcome to chime in with chatting or whatever you'd like to. I will probably clip this video at some point and put it up on the channel somewhere. For everyone else, welcome. You can join live. In my last video, I showed you how to do an Advent of CSS and an Advent of JS kind of thing that I worked on in their very first project. This is just 24 challenges for JavaScript and for CSS. And I thought it might be fun to do one of the challenges live. Now, I haven't done this. I haven't looked at it yet other than seeing what it is. I haven't really thought through what I'm going to do. And I don't know, that always helps me to kind of see other people's process. So feel free to chat with your own suggestions about what you would do differently, or if you have suggestions about what I can do, that'd be great. Let me go ahead and show you what the project is, though, to get started with. It's this keyboard, and there's not a whole lot of instruction given other than colors and a font face or typeface or whatever. So we've got a lot that we just need to do by default. And looking at this, see, I don't know if we should make these things divs. I think it makes sense they're not, or we could do SVGs. I think my default would probably just to use a button tag perhaps, and that way I can tab to them and hit enter. I don't think it matters much since this is just something for fun. But what I might do is do buttons, and then let's check to see the size. So in Figma here, if you hold down, what is it, the Option key on Mac, it'll actually tell you the size around everything. So 33 pixels, 45 pixels, and let's see what these bigger ones are. 56, 57, so it's not super consistent. So I might just kind of do my own here. Let's see what the distance is between these. So that's 22.34. Okay, so both ways. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of map out what this should look like. And yeah, if you have suggestions, let me know. Now, as far as the design specs, the only thing they give you is the typeface that you should use. So let's go ahead and grab this first to start with, and then I'm going to get an index.js or index.html file up if I can. Index.html. And if you can't hear me or something like that, if I'm not loud enough, please let me know in the comments. All two of you that are here currently. And if you're watching this in the future, hopefully you can hear me. All right, I'm going to expand this out, and we're going to do day 4 keyboard, because that's what it is. And then let's grab this enter, and let's look back here. It doesn't tell you what size this typeface, or which one of the fonts it should be. Here we go. So bold on all of these, it looks like. Okay, so I'll just grab the bold. So let's get rid of this. This is evidently from a previous project I was working on. And let's just grab the bold. So bold 700 over here. And I'm just gonna add it to the CSS file. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'll do a style.css. And I may just end up doing the CSS on this. I'm not sure if I'll have time to get to the JavaScript. Depends how quickly I go, I suppose. but we'll go kind of step at a time. All right, let me close these down. I think this is kind of, that animation isn't helping me out. Okay, I'm going to come over here and open this with Live Server, which should open this up over this way. Let's see, the only other thing I need, let's go ahead and close down the sidebar, is just the colors. So let's grab that and then close the style guide. And what I'm going to do is just set these root colors here. So we'll do the root, and I'm just going to paste this in for now. And let's see, I'm going to call these, let's do color white, and I'll copy that one in. And then I'll do color teal. Grab that. And finally, color gray. All right, and I can use those throughout. Let's go ahead and set the background color then to our var of color white. All right, let's jump back over here. Nothing much has changed, but now we're ready to add these in. So we've got this keyboard outside, and let's see, I've got 75 pixels basically as the quarter radius. And then here, looks like we're 72. So is this consistent? No, it's not. So let's make it consistent because I guess I'm a little OCD like that. So let's do 80 all the way around. So let's have a div here. Let's come back to the index.html page. And let's just have a div, well, let's just make it the main tag, and that will be the background. And then inside here, we're going to have, let's call it keyboard, I guess. And that will be where all these buttons are held. So now let's go ahead and jump back over to the CSS. Usually I try to add all the HTML first, but in this case, I think we'll do it like this. I'll have a main display of grid, and then I'll do place item center. That'll put everything in the middle there. And then for the keyboard, I'll do a padding of, let's just do 80 pixels all the way around. And then we'll do a background color here of our var color gray. All right, and then it should show up somewhere in the middle here. Oh, I actually need a size on this too, which we'll get with those buttons here in a second. So let's jump back over this way. And I've got these buttons. Let's go ahead. I'm going to make them buttons like I mentioned earlier. Let's just work on getting something up for now. So I'll add just the numbers over here in the HTML. And we're going to add these in rows so that we can use grid to lay these out. So we'll do, let's see how many rows we have. I guess 4. Yeah, so we'll do top, or how about just 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do row 1 like that. And then inside here, I'm going to have a button that will have the number 1 to start with. And do I need anything else here? Let's do a class here of button small, because we've got small and big ones. If you're just joining us, I'm working through an Advent of JS, Advent of CSS project that I wanted to look at. I haven't done anything with it yet. I hadn't really planned it out yet. So I'm just going to kind of talk through this as I do it. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the chat or suggestions. But what we're doing right now is just laying this out with CSS. So we've got this, and again, we've got some kind of padding here. Let's go like 33 all the way around, and then what is this? 29, so 30 degrees on that. So those are small. The rest of these are big. We might need a medium here. Well, this has basically the same padding as small. So not all of these are super consistent, so I'll just kind of figure this out as we go, and I might have to adjust it some to be a little more consistent for the CSS. All right, so let's go ahead and get something on this. So I'm going to take this button small. Maybe what we should do is have a button class. And that button class will have our coloring too. So let's see, some of them are different colors. All the small ones are green though. So we'll use the coloring on button small. So let's come back over this way and let's grab all the buttons. And here, let's see, I do have GitHub Copilot right now suggesting all kinds of things. So let's see, I already have the bold font because that's the only one I brought in. So I think we'll be good here. So I'm going to say color. Let's see, I guess we're going to set that in the button small. Is that 1 dash? Should probably be 2. At least that's how I typically do it. So we'll do 2 dashes over here, and button small will be color of our teal. Okay, and then we'll do padding of, what do we decide, 30 pixels? Something like that? 33. So 33 pixels on that padding, and then let's go ahead and grab the button element since we're going to be using those throughout. At least that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to set the color to, or let's just do background, and this needs to be our white. And then let's see, the font family needs to be inherit. And I made a really dumb error. You probably can already tell. I never hooked any of this up. So this is all you're getting. You're going to get nothing but the truth today. All right, so there we go. No wonder nothing was showing up earlier. We'll do border here of none. All right, and then font size of, let's see, let's just grab the font size, whatever this should be. Where are you watching from? If you're watching live here, let me know where you're watching from. It'd be nice to know. Let's see, 45. So 45 pixels. All right, so we got a button. This is good. With all these, let's say the button needs to be the same height as we got here, so 121.02. So we're just going to do height 121.02 pixels. Obviously, this isn't a responsive design, but we'll do min width. It doesn't look like that's what it was designed to be either, so that's all right. So we'll do min width there, and that way on the larger one, we can override that with a width. Okay, so I've got those. Let's go ahead and add that border radius, which was 29. So border radius of, let's do 30 pixels. And then it does have a little drop shadow. If you hit inspect here in Figma, you can actually just copy this out. I don't know if that's cheating, but that's what I'm going to do. So let's see, box shadow, and they should all be the same there. Now, this color isn't actually given to me in the Figma, so let's go ahead and grab this and let's add this up top. So we're going to do color, let's do light gray. All right, and then let's use that here. Light gray. Now, do I need that dark gray anywhere? Where's the dark gray even being used? Oh, in the text. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do this too. Let's take this box shadow and let's apply it to the keyboard itself, just so we've got it kind of standing off the back a little bit. All right, welcome if you're just joining us. We are working through a Advent of CSS project that I thought would be fun to work on. It's this keyboard, and so hopefully you're able to stick around and watch me kind of build this out live how I would. Let's see, did I get this one right? I don't think so. So we're going to do light gray. Var light gray. Is that showing properly? Doesn't look like the right color. Is this the right color? F6. So those are almost the same. I wonder if the file is actually wrong. So this should be white in the back. All right, so let's just change this to white. They didn't give me that, but probably because it's just a CSS color. All right, so now I'm actually getting some coloring. That's good. And then these are probably white too. Yeah. So let's change the button here to just white. So they did give me the other color. I just applied it to the wrong thing. And then I also want the border radius on the keyboard. So let's do that. It should be the same, actually, I think. Let's double check. So this is, nope, the radius is quite a bit bigger. So that's 74. And this is on the keyboard itself. All right, cool. So I've got one button set up. That's something. Let's go ahead and start adding some more. But before I do too much, we can add these pretty quickly once we get them going. I need to think through JavaScript if we're going to get around to hitting these. I could look inside here and figure out whatever the button should be, but because I'm going to want these to correspond probably to the key dot, or the e.key, what I'm going to do is just add a data attribute. So we'll say data-key equals 1 in this case. Now there is a cool, let's see, keycode.info, cool site by Wes Boss where you can just hit any key and get whatever it is. So this is e.key is 1, so that should be the exact same. And 2, if I hit A, it gives me A, S, Q. All right, so Shift, Tab. So most of those are as you'd expect it, but we can use this if we get stuck. Maybe we should just look at the table. Might be easier to go the other way, and I'm going to go dark mode. Okay, so let's go ahead and start adding in the rest of that row here. So I guess we're just doing this little, what is that, a back tick, I guess, through 0. So let's go ahead and do that. Do I need anything else here before I start duplicating this? Let's see, 1. I'm going to be pressing that. I'll add a class probably to make it wiggle. That's what it's supposed to do, basically, is wiggle, and then you hit it, and then it takes it off. So I think that's all I'm going to need. All right, so let's go ahead and just copy this a bunch of times. I'm hitting Option, Shift, and the down arrow to get that. And then I can just grab the first one here and then hit Command D and grab the second one and hit that little back tick. And then let's do the same thing here. And we'll do 2. If I hit the down arrow, I should be able to go 3, 4, 5. I told you this would go quick once we got it set up. 9, and then what, 0? How do keyboards work? Yeah, and then we'll go down again here, do our minus sign. I do have a keyboard in front of me, so I suppose I could have watched that. They're only doing 1 symbol per row. I guess that was the equals. This next one was the delete. Now, in this case, unlike all the rest of these, this is going to need another, let's see, I guess this looks like the same padding. This one, and this one look like a medium size, so it'll need a different class. So let's go ahead and change that to DEL. Let's see, what is that key code? If I hit this backspace, okay, so it's backspace. So that will be different than what we see. Let me make sure that the other ones are the same. Those are all the same. This one, okay, good. All right, so we've got that set up. If I save this and come back over this way, these should be stacked out properly. We're going to need to set this all out. I probably will use flex on the rows and then maybe grid on inside the rows and then grid on the individual rows to kind of space those out. And then we will uppercase all of these as well. See, they all uppercase? Yeah, so I'll just leave them lowercase when I add them here. Let's go ahead and, all right, let me move to the next row. This is the kind of thing that normally you wouldn't have to watch, but, well, you don't have to watch now either, I suppose, but we'll go ahead here. See, do I need these to be different numbered rows? Not really. Let's just name this row, and I'm going to copy this down, and we'll do row 2. And let's get rid of all this, and I'll just copy down. I guess I don't need to. Grab this and this, and we'll say tab. Is that the same here? See, it's capitalized in the actual key code. So I'll add that. And then we're just going to take these one at a time. So Q, come down here, W, E. Let's see, I'm assuming these are all lowercase. Yeah, couldn't remember. All right, and then R, T. All right, if you're joining us, where are you watching from? Unless you want to hear me read out letters of the alphabet, which I'm happy to do. All right, let's see how many we go over all the way, okay? And I need to figure out what this is. So it's actually that, and that's that, and that's that. All right, so as you'd expect here. Back over this way. This one will require a little more work, so let's just go ahead and copy this next one down. And we got that key, and those should all be that same size. Oh, those should all be that same size of small, except for this first one, which will be the large size because of the padding on either side that looks, or no, that's the medium size, same as up top. So we'll go medium. All right, and let's go ahead and copy down another row. We're getting close to be able to actually finishing up the CSS, and depending how much time we have, I might do some of the JavaScript, maybe all of it. We'll just see. Let's get rid of this one. I'll grab both of those. We'll go, what is that key? Caps. So caps. And this call, oh, you know what? I have a, I have something that's going to throw this off. Let me pause and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I have a carabiner elements thing that changes that from caps lock to a bunch of other things. So that's why it wasn't going to work. Okay, so we've got the caps lock, and then let's just kind of keep going. Hopefully I didn't lose too many people here. All right, now I'll do A. Have any of you started doing the Advent of JS or Advent of CSS JavaScript? Or, yeah, the CSS or JavaScript one. I think those challenges are fun and they kind of get you out of your comfort zone. I don't do a lot of those things, and certainly not on my channel, mostly because I try to focus on things you're actually going to use, hopefully in real websites, rather than just kind of the games. But the games are fun and they keep you kind of going and enjoying things. So nothing against them at all. Let me make sure that this is what I expect. Okay, those are good. And this is the enter key. So we'll go enter here, and then what do they have it say? They have it say enter. Okay. We'll go here as well. All right, so that's the next row. Let's go ahead and grab this one. Got just a couple left. So this one is shift, I think. And let's see what it is over here. Shift, yeah, okay. And we'll go Z, X. If you like this kind of thing where I'm just walking through how I would code things too, let me know. I've never done this before, so who knows if you're even hearing me. I'm assuming everything's working, but let's see. This is the wrong order anyhow. Nope, that was right. But if you like this kind of thing, I am happy to do more of it. I just I haven't before. I don't watch a lot of live streams myself just because they take more time, and a lot of times my time is limited, so I try to just do the best I can, but it doesn't always work for me to be able to do that. Oh yeah, and we've got a event code, so maybe we should be using that for that one. So this is shift right. That's good to know. All right, and then this one will be shift to left. Okay, did we get them all in there? You got the tabs, deletes, the caps, enter, shift, and then the final shift. So I think that's everything. I do need to change around some of these, so let me first of all just make sure that a lot of these event codes, key A, key D, so I'm going to have to change up some of those. I could say if it's shift, then check the event code, just so you don't have to watch me redo that, because those are all the same. That's bracket right, bracket left. Okay, so we'll get around to that when we get to JavaScript. Let's just worry about the CSS for now. We'll do one thing at a time. But I've got all those set. We do need to change this to large here. And then this one down here as well. Let's see, the caps, the enter, those are all, let's see, the enter is the small, but it will have that dark text. So maybe I'll just add that individually on that. Those are both the only large ones, and then these seem to be the medium, the tab and the caps. So I'll come up here and call this medium. And then maybe here I'll just call this like enter. We'll do a single class for that. Okay, so with that said, let's come back over this way, and I'm going to change up some of this stuff. So I'll say, maybe I'll just set the color on all the buttons naturally to our dark color. That was our gray. And then only change it on the small, because that should be all the rest of them. Okay. Padding is all the way around. This medium one, I'm going to want padding of 33 pixels up and down, but the sides are a little bit different. Let's see, 56.04. So let's do that. So 56.04 pixels. And that spaces those out nicely. All right, this color, oh, I changed the color teal. Okay, so those should be good. And then finally this enter class. So enter, we're going to have the color be var of gray. Okay, cool. So we got that set up. The shift on both sides, we had a larger padding. Now it's 87.51. So we need one more here, and we'll change this to large, 33 up and down, and then 85.51 pixels. Okay, so I've got all that set up. Let's let's come back here. I want a little bit of margin on this just so we can see what's going on here. I guess we don't, yeah, that's our keyboard outline, right? Yeah, let me make sure I'm not zoomed in. Nope. Okay, so we've got that set. Now we just need to get spacing between all these. So let's first of all go into the rows. 22.34 is what we got. So we're going to go row, and we'll do display grid, and then I'll just do a gap of 22.34. Oh, and I'm going to do, let's see, I said flex on this, I think. Yeah, flex. There we go. So those are 22.34 on all the rows, and then on the keyboard itself, we'll do display of grid, and here we'll do a gap of 22.34, and that spaces all those out nicely. Does that line everything up for us automatically? Just about. All right, so some of these just need to be slightly larger or smaller. Let's see, the shift is off and the enter is off. Maybe that enter needs to be bigger. Let's see, so the line height's 54. There's no letter spacing. Huh, that looks like it's a little bit bigger. 44.68 on the font size. Did I set font size anywhere? Button, 44.78, yeah, so 45. So those should all be the same. 33.1. Minimum width, we got 37 there. 57.72. Well, you know what? I bet if we make these caps, because we haven't done that yet either. So let's come to both the medium and the large, and we'll say text transform is uppercase. Does that change anything? Nope. I have double dashes here. I wonder if I didn't do that on all these. Double dash. Oh, I didn't here, but my enter needs to have that as well. All right, let's see if that spaced things out a little bit better. Yeah, just about. Okay, cool. So we might almost be done with the CSS. Are you interested in seeing JavaScript for those of you who are watching? All right, so maybe the spacing just needs to be a little bit different. Let's set the spacing dynamically on the enter one since it seems to be slightly different. So 39, what did I set these at? 33, oh yeah, so let's do padding 33 pixels and 39 going both ways. That might change things for us. Yeah, just about. So there's probably a better way to get these all spaced out the exact same way besides just relying on padding. The other thing I probably need to do is come in here on the buttons themselves and set this to display of grid and place item center, because it doesn't look like all these are spaced out exactly properly. Maybe it's the line height. So I'm going to set the line height here. I'll get rid of that. Let's come up here and do a line height of 1. What if we do like 1.4? No. How about we do like 0.8? I think it's just the way that typeface is laid out. So we'll do 0.7. That's mostly in the middle there. All right, cool. I think that looks good enough for me to call that done on the CSS side of stuff. Now, one thing I might want to do is set it in the middle. So we'll do a min height here of 100 view height. And that should put everything in the middle. And I've zoomed out a lot so you can see everything to 50% here. But let's compare that with what we got over here. I'm feeling pretty happy with that overall. All right, so I don't know how long that took us here. I guess I could check. Let's see, over this way. 29 minutes, so not the fastest thing I've ever done in the world, but that was fun. Let's go ahead and I'll start working a little bit on the JavaScript. I've got about 10 more minutes before I've got to run to a meeting here, but I figured I would just do what I could and kind of go from there. See if it'll let me do it. Okay, so let's come up top here and we'll grab our script, src, and I'll just have, let's call it keyboard.js, and I'll defer it here. So defer, and Yeah, I'm good enough with that. So keyboard.js, let's go ahead and create that. Keyboard.js, and let's console.log. Hi, since I forgot to connect to CSS earlier, let's just make sure I'm actually doing what I'm expecting I'm doing. Okay, it is working. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is grab all the buttons. We might as well do that. So we'll say const buttons. Let's shorten it there. And let me get rid of the sidebar. And we'll just grab everything that has a button on it. I am using a GitHub Copilot. Usually I turn that off for my videos, but I happen to have this on, so that's what I've got. All right, so what we'll do is we'll look at each button eventually. What else are we going to need? They're all going to have their own data attributes, but we'll figure that out as we go. We've got a list of these buttons, though. Then what we can do is randomly generate something wiggling. If I pull back up over here, this, let's see, we did the style guide for the CSS. This README tells us what to do for the JavaScript. And basically, a random letter is going to jiggle, and then you have to press that letter and it'll stop, and a new random one will start jiggling. So let's figure that out with just JavaScript. So I'm going to need that. I'm going to need a function. We'll call it, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a class and use that to then put a CSS animation on with things that jiggle. So let's have one that remove jiggle. Why not? And we'll just remove it from all of them. So we'll say bts dot for each, and that works. Remove jiggle. Okay. GitHub Copilot is helpful sometimes, most of the time. So we'll remove that class of jiggle, and then let's go ahead and write that class, and we'll just add it to this one right here. Okay, so let's see what we can do. So I'll come down here and just say anything with a class of jiggle on it. We'll have an animation jiggle 1 second infinite. That works. And then I'll have keyframes here, and this will be jiggle. And then let's see, does that work? No, let's break this up a little bit more. So we'll do like 20%, and this will move to 5 pixels that way. And let's do X, like -5. Let's copy this down, and we'll go 40. And let's do, I don't know, -5. And then we'll do 5 this way. What does that do? So it just does some weird stuff up and down. So let's actually change this to 60. And the next time we move it, we'll move it the other way. So I'll come down here again, change this to 40. And then this will be, let's see, that was a Y up that way, or down. So we'll go negative here. Or let's see now, X. Just going back and forth right now. I want it to get up. So this needs to be this way. Let's do like -15 or something. And then we'll do 10 that way. And we'll go back. Let's go back like 10. And then -10. And then we'll go back to 80. And it'll eventually return to 0 over here. So I don't think I need both of these on. And of course, I could probably just do translate and then add both those in there. But since I've already been doing it this way, we're just going to leave it here. And we'll go, let's go 5 and 5, or -5 and 5. All right, is that jiggly enough? Just mostly moves back and forth. What am I messing up here? That it should be going up, right? This should be going up here. Let's get rid of, do we need commas here? I don't remember. I don't think so, right? No, doesn't like that. Oh, it's yelling at me. That shouldn't change anything here, though. Let's see, outside here? Yeah. No, that shouldn't change that. Jiggle, got that. Infinite. What if it's a little bit longer? Does that give it time to actually be visible? No? Well, if you know what I'm doing, let me know. But this should be going up and down too. But for now, that works. If we're going to keep it that simple, though, let's go ahead and just change this to, let's just have a 50%, and then it'll alternate in between these. If I change this to 50, and I'll change this to like back to let's do 500 milliseconds. And it just shakes like that. I'm trying to think, does it do anything else when it shakes? Maybe let's add a different color to it. So we'll say our background color should be our var of teal, and then we'll change the color to our var of light gray. All right, just to make sure that it's super visible which one is shaking. All right, so let's go ahead and let's run remove jiggle just to make sure that that's working. It should loop through all the buttons and remove that class, and it does. Okay, cool. Maybe let's also add a transition here. So they're all going to be on buttons. We'll just do transition all 200 milliseconds, and then we'll do ease in and out. Maybe 100 milliseconds. Okay, we'll refresh here, get rid of this, and then add it back in. Oh, it's not going to work there. I'm going to have to write it down below just to see it work live. Okay, so it removed it right away. I think I need to put that transition on the button. Let's just keep going because you didn't come here to watch transitions. Remove jiggle, and then we're going to have add random, let's see, function, add random jiggle. Let's see, add jiggle to random. Let's just add jiggle, and then we're going to write another function. We'll take in a key here, and we'll say that the key dot, let's do this. Let's say document.query selector, and we're going to find the key that has the data dash key, so the button with the data dash key that we pass in and add to it the jiggle class, which is what GitHub is seeing that I want to do. So we'll run that in a second here, and then when we add it, we're also going to need, so let's just map out what we need to do instead of trying to figure this out as we go. So keyboard events, we're going to need one that, let's see, to capture key press and call add jiggle function. Or let's do this. We'll do an arrow function to get random key or button and add jiggle. Okay, so I've got that. We've got the remove jiggle. So maybe what we should do is write a random function. So let's do function dot, let's see, how many do I have here? Let's do console.log, bts.length. Let's see the length of buttons. We have 53. Well, I guess we could write that in here naturally. So we'll do a function, get random number, and minimum will be 0 because we'd be dealing with an array, and a maximum would be bts.length, just in case we added numbers to the to the keyboard here. And then we'll say, let's see, bts, no, I don't need that. We'll do return math.floor random bts. Yeah, that's what I want. So what we're wanting here is we're going to get math.random, and that will give us a number between 0 and 1, and then we're going to multiply it times the total amount we've got here. And I guess I don't really need that either, so we'll just leave it as that, our button.length. So we don't need that either. Button.length, and then we'll floor that. So let's go ahead and run get random number just to make sure that this is working properly. And I guess I need to console.log this or run it down below. Let's just console.log this. Let's comment this out. Console.log. All right, so 28, let's run it again, 10, 47, 51. Okay, so it's working. Okay, cool. So we're going to get that number back. So get random number, and then we're going to pass that to our add jiggle. So let's do this. No, let's keep this thing separate. What I was going to do is call this directly, but then this links these functions a little bit too much. And typically with applications, you'd be using functions multiple times over and over again. So, all right, so we've got one jiggling. We can remove those. That's good. Once we add the jiggle keyboard event. So let's go ahead and work on that next. So we'll say window.add event listener. We're looking for the key down. That's correct. Thanks, GitHub Copilot. And then what I'll do is let's console.log the e.key. And here's where we might need to actually, if I come over here, oops, let me click up here. It's console logging the key that I press. Okay, so that is working properly. Here's where we might need to actually change it up and work on the event.code. So that's a back quote. So let's go ahead and change some of these data attributes to match that. If you were here earlier, I was using the e.key, and then I got down to like the left and right shift and realized that I would probably need to use something different. Digit 1, digit 2. Okay, so we can just add digits to all these. So we'll come in down here and say digit 1. Let me make sure that's all the same. Yeah, digit 09, minus and equal. So let's change this to minus and equal. And then let's come down here. Backspace, so that's proper, except this needs to be capitalized. Either way, it would need to be capitalized. And then we got tab, Q, those are all the same. Bracket left and bracket right. So tab should be the right, and then here we're going to have bracket. Let's see, can I just copy this? Yeah. That's bracket left, and then bracket right, and then the backslash. Caps lock, that's the same. Key A, oh, key Q, I didn't realize that. So those are all capitalized too. All right, so we got a little bit more work to do. So let's come in here and let me just say key Q, key W. Sorry, we're having to redo all this. I didn't think about that. These are the kinds of things that you just, you missed the first time around, but that's all right. No worries. I asked earlier, but we've had some more people join. Where are you watching from, and have you worked on this Advent of JavaScript course or kind of free platform thing, and has it been fun for you? If you have you gotten stuck on any of them? This is the first time I've done anything like this in a little bit, and it's been fun to kind of play with in my spare time, which is why I thought it might be fun to do a live stream since I haven't done one of those before. All right, if you are chatting, at least I'm not seeing it, but let me come over here, live chat, all messages. Oh, there are people chatting the whole time. Perfect. Are you overwriting translate Y? Oh, I am. Look at this. I was on, see, this is why you shouldn't do this stuff live, but you can't do live streams other ways. I was on top chat over here on my other screen. Okay, cool. All those keys, it's going to be a lot of divs. Yeah. Well, thanks for those of you who stuck around in spite of my inability to know how to use YouTube live stream, but just haven't done it before. So let's see, S. All right, and now that I actually can see what's going on, anybody who said you were from somewhere that I missed already? I just see highs, Cape Town, South Africa. Oh, nice. I've got a brother who's hanging out there now for several months. He's actually a web developer and just travels the globe. So all right, and then let's come over here, grab this semicolon. I guess I could have copied those in. That might be faster. I don't know. Quote. And then enter. That was right. Come back over here. That's shift to left. All right, and now we got this whole thing to do again. Maybe let's try the copy method and see if that's any faster. Down here, get rid of this. Come over here. It's going to be so fast. No, not really. See. Maybe what I should do is just go down here like this and do key for all these, and then C. Oh, C. That's what I should have been doing in the first place. All right, if this was me, I'd be writing a keyboard macro to do all this for me, but I can't do that on live stream since I can't even find where the chat feature is. Let's see, period. And then what else do we have? Backslash, just the slash is what it calls it. Okay, so let's see, let's just make sure we've got everything we need. There's no space bar. Okay, so it doesn't do the bottom line. Suddenly I realized, did I leave off a lower thing altogether? All right, so now what we can do is grab this data dash key and compare it to the e.code, and that's what we'll be using over this way. And that differentiates between the shifts and all that kind of stuff. So we'll do e.code like that. And then what we're going to do is, let's see, it's only going to remove that if they hit the right key code. So what I need to do is each time a key is pressed, I need to grab the is jiggling. Let's do that. So we'll see document.query selector. We're going to grab the one with, I guess, yeah, button.jiggle. Let's just grab the jiggle class. And then I know the key. And what I want is, I guess what, the text content. So let's do that and come back over here. Text content should give me that. Let's clear this. All right, if I press any button, is jiggling. Oh, I didn't console log that. Let's console log this. I got rid of my hyper key, so now I have to type it like a cave person. All right, come back over here. Okay, so that is giving me the text content. So what I can do is say, is jiggling, or no, let's see, e dot, what do I want? Text content. I don't want the text content. I want the data dot, yeah, that's what I want. Thanks. Dataset dot key, and then what I want to say is jiggling. If it equals, not that. If it equals the e dot code, right? Then I'm going to, let's see, let's put this in an actual if thing rather than a, the audio is coming to only one side of your headphone. You probably said that way long ago, Neon Tuts. Sorry about that. I will work on that for next time. Let's see. Maybe I can figure it out quickly. Filters property. Advanced audio property. Left, right. It says it's balanced in the middle. Maybe it's not. Sorry about that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change it to mono. Is that any better? I don't know. Only left here. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out for the next time. All right. For the sake of finishing up here, let's go ahead and say if that's the case, then we're going to say remove jiggle and then add jiggle to random number. Okay, did we fix everything? So if I press the right thing, it did do that. Cool. All right, so it removed it and then add jiggle to the key of get random number. And then what I'm going to do here is call my buttons. What was that? Buttons like that. And then I'm going to use the random number to grab the index of that array. And let's try that now. So if I press that, class list at add jiggle 14. So document.query selector, data-key. I'm adding in, oh, you know what? I don't need to do the key like that. I just need to look for, I just need to say key like that. Let's try that. Did it jiggle another one? Maybe over, hey, 4, Q, Y. Okay, so we got it to work. That was cool. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful. A little slower than I normally do stuff, but it's hard to talk. Usually I don't talk while I'm trying to do this, so that's good to know. Thanks for watching, and I hope this was fun for you. Again, this is from Advent of JS, Advent of JS, and Advent of JavaScript, and Advent of CSS. This is the JavaScript that we just did earlier. We did the CSS, and if you would have done this differently, let me know. I think also, while we're here, let's go ahead and change this. So I'll do like 5 pixels. And of course I had both transforms. That's not going to work. And let's come back over here. Where did I close that down? I did. Come back here. Okay. So now that should, there we go. All right. So now it's doing cool stuff. Adding that up and down for the CSS. But hopefully this was helpful for you. If you like this kind of thing, let me know. I've never done a live stream, as you can tell by the very poor interaction. But thanks for watching, and I will catch you in an actual planned video. I'm planning on doing basically a lightweight CMS for Notion, how to use Notion, the note-taking app, how to use their API to have like a really lightweight CMS. So if you're interested in that, I think the first one publishes Saturday, something like that. It'll be several videos because I've got to show you how to get set up with Netlify functions and how to write the Node.js script and then how to call it from the front end and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to use the accordion that I did in a couple of videos ago. and we're going to use that as kind of the mechanism to input this live data from Notion. All right, well, thanks for watching, and thanks for the interaction. Sorry I took such a long time to get to the chat. Audio is not fixed. I'll try to figure that out for next time. Neon, thanks. And thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. All right, catch you next time.